This is the helicopter event. Is it the army? A news crew? Or something else entirely? I'll take the default settings as a clue to the real lore. Let's look closer. The helicopter usually arrives between days 6 and 9 and once per playthrough. That alone tells us something. This isn't random. It might be the last helicopter flying over Kentucky. Here's a woman named Denise that reports during a radio broadcast the fact that she heard helicopters all night.
Denise, you were one of the last out of the zone, am I right?
I was. My mom's still in there.
Have you heard from her?
Nothing. Phones are out. These guys, all standing in between us.
The army, yes. And how did you get out?
Well, we heard the helicopters all night through. Mom was ill. High temperature, real sleepy. Nothing serious, I thought. I was going to work at Gas to Go early, like every morning. I saw these guys in plastic suits. You know, bright yellow.
So, one of our first clues is that the military has access to helicopters and is surveilling the area. But this happens in the first day of the outbreak. Technically, day 0. There still might be other possibilities. Also, in the same day, we have another local describing helicopters flying low to the ground over to Moldra. Again, this is suggesting that only the army has access to helicopters. From what I've read in the broadcasts, it seems that there is no reporting of the infection from above, no news outlets, no nothing. Everything is done from the ground. Also, everything in the media seems to be covering the main concern, the exclusion zone and the checkpoints that are being overrun. I don't see any reason for the media to be hovering over a random survivor like, look at this dumbass here trying to survive. Let's broadcast to the world how he dies. I don't think that would be a great look for the media channel. We also have a third witness on the radio that talks about helicopters. This proves our point that the helicopters may be army choppers. There are a few more mentions of helicopters, but not once in these street interviews there have been mentioned to be a news helicopter. The last broadcast mentioning air activity is the Weather Channel, and it alerts us about the helicopter on the day that it arrives, saying there is air activity. So there is a gap of a few days between the report of helicopters and the Weather Channel that tells us about the air activity. There are 3 possibilities. First one, we have the army. The evidence supporting this is that we have early reports showing heavy military helicopter presence. Okay, the evidence against is that there have been reports of the military officially pulling out around day 6. The second possibility is that scientists or very high-ranking people try to monitor the infection and are using us as the experiment, with reports saying that people have been told that the military scientists are present within the zone, and the scientists are also working with the military. There is also a theory going around from a former employee of the CDC, Professor Oliver Black, that is telling us that it's most likely an experiment, a large-scale live exercise that will cause many deaths but provide the CDC with data. But I think with how the infection progressed, that if this was an experiment, it went badly pretty quickly, since later it went global. We also have evidence against this, that being that most scientists mentioned were working on the boundary rather than inside the zone, and the military withdrawal would have likely included scientific personnel, and also that if the military pulled out, it would most likely have included scientific personnel. And also there is no explicit mention of scientists continuing operations after the military pullout. Our last possibility is that a single or multiple non-infected people managed to steal a helicopter, and to be honest, I don't really have any evidence regarding this, but again, this is the apocalypse after all. One thing that may disprove my point is that it requires extensive training to be able to fly a helicopter. So, if someone stole it, it most likely was someone from inside or a skilled pilot. As you can see, I'm not taking into account the fact that it may be a news chopper, because there was no indication whatsoever that any news chopper has flown here before. And also, there are no radios or TV stations broadcasting the news from the helicopter at the time of the event. Also, it doesn't really make that much sense to be a helicopter from another state, so it's very unlikely. There are 4 more points that I want to share to support my point, I guess. The reporters are usually on the ground. Also, other news teams are present, but they appear to be ground-based, not in helicopters. The helicopters are observed by reporters. Jackie J reports there are helicopters overhead, scientists in hazmat suits. This describes the helicopters she sees, not the ones that she would be in. There are indications of camera crews, because Jackie J also mentions Duke, my camera guy, indicating ground-based camera crews. Also, there are references to media camp and journalist camp that suggest ground-based operations, so there are no helicopters. One thing is certain, the helicopter doesn't just hover past us and leaves. God, I wish it did that. That means that the people inside have some interest in us, whether they want to see us perish as their last piece of good entertainment, or they try and figure out if they should save us or not. It's still annoying as hell. Personally, I think the helicopter is the last one out of the exclusion zone, because the military pulled out around day 6, so it would kind of make sense that around the 6 to 9 days into the outbreak, they reach us. The reason for hovering above us, I think, is that maybe they saw us and tried landing but couldn't find a safe spot. They didn't have any more space left and just started debating solutions, or maybe they just thought we were already infected and just wanted to see what happened. What do you think is the story behind the helicopter? Let me know in the comments, and also please let me know if I missed something regarding this story. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.